Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you out there? It is the top of the hour, Tuesday, 7 p.m. here in Queensland. Of course, the 17th of April, just now a week of the eve of Anzac Day for 2018. So, guys, this evening we're here for a Skyway opportunity, Skyway Invest Group presentation. We'll get through it. We've got quite a bit of information to get through. We will get through it as fast as we can and obviously as thorough as we can as well. Guys, before we go too much further, my name is Andrew Hawkes. I am a father first. I am a manager here with Skyway Invest Group, the company that I'm here to tell you about this evening. I am a co-owner in the Skyway technology, which is a technology I'm also going to tell you about this evening. I'm one of 8 English-speaking certified master profit coaches worldwide. I'm a private investor in and of my own right, and I've been marketing online now for a little over 10 years and have been doing that pretty much full time. I wrote a book in 2015 called Rivers of Gold, How to Create Multiple Income Streams, because I am incredibly passionate about showing people how they can break free of the drudgery, if you like, how they can create passive incomes for themselves. And Warren Buffett said it perfectly. Those who do not create passive incomes will work until they die. And I certainly have no interest in doing that. And I hope that everybody on this call this evening is the same way. We are in very interesting times, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, it's getting more and more difficult to get ahead in life. Pay parity doesn't seem to be keeping up with the cost of living. That seems to be increasing each and every year. And for those of us with children, we're probably starting to get a little bit worried as to how they are going to be able to get into the real estate market with ever increasing prices. In Sydney now, I don't think you're getting into the market for less than $1 million. Ponsonby's the same in Auckland. And of course, worldwide, we're seeing similar trends. So it's time for us to take action now to secure something to enable them to be able to move forward with power in the future. There's a very good chance that you're in a job right now that can be automated in the next 10 or 15 years and more than likely will. So think about yourself. If you're in a job and you think, this could be done by a machine, then there's a good chance, ladies and gents, that in the next 10 to 15 years, it will be done by a machine and you will be out of a job. In fact, unemployment is going to increase exponentially over the coming 10, 15, 20 years. So this is how we can counteract that. So before we go any further, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to go through our compliance slide here. I'm going to read this verbatim. You'll notice a couple of changes here. So let me read it out to you. MLCI stands for multi-level crowd investing. It's a new term that we're coining in the marketplace. We are pioneers in that space, and it is incredibly exciting. We talk about EIPs, educational information products. You also hear them referred to as informational investment products or packages. We talk about PIPEs, pre-IPO private equity shares. That's here in Australia and the rest of the world for that matter. IPO it stands for an initial public offering. It's not pre-initial, it is actually initial public offering. We call them bonus equity shares. If you're not sure what an IPO is, it's when a company lists on the stock exchange for the very first time. So please note, we are not selling, nor are we licensed to sell shares. All countries have their own rules on the sale of financial products, and we must respect the laws of the land. Generally speaking, most countries allow the sale of information products without a special license. Therefore, we use the following terms in our marketing that we have actually already been through. So at this point in time, we are not selling shares. I just want to reiterate that. We are giving a precious gift to the people and offering an opportunity to learn wealth creation, education, and showing how you can invest in your own education and receive pipes. That is a mouthful. I'm going to have to shorten that sentence. As a gift or free bonus, the pre-IPO private equity shares in the technology you're about to learn all about. We do not offer or give financial advice, and you shouldn't either unless you are licensed to do so in your area of residence. We only offer general information, and that should be noted. Please do your own due diligence or seek confirmation from a licensed accountant or financial advisor in your area of compliance in your state or country. Ladies and gentlemen, this man on the screen in front of us, Dr. Anatoly Yanitsky, he is an absolute genius. It was his birthday yesterday, I believe. Today or yesterday. Happy birthday, Dr. Anatoly Yanitsky. He, as I said, an absolute genius. He has created a fundamentally new transport system that he has been working on for the last 40 years. He started as a university student, and he's been like a dog with a bone. Now, in that time, he has received a number of things. He's received a grant from the UN for $1 million in 2001 to prove his concept. And well, guess what? The concept was proven, and here we are in 2018. We're about set to roll this out on a worldwide scale. We've created a fundamentally new transport system, which is eco-friendly, safe, comfortable, significantly cheaper compared to all existing solutions. Having passed a wide range of international expert evaluations, the innovative Skyway string system has proved its validity. Originally, it was called the Unitsky string system or Unitsky string technology. It's now referred to as Skyway. Now, Dr. Unitsky has also received from the UN a number of awards, and that being the Golden Chariot Award. He has actually received that award up to 3 times, I believe, which is for innovations in transport. That tells you how good what I'm about to show you is. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Eco Techno Park. It is in Belarus, Marina Gorka, the region up there. It was gifted by the Belarusian government, 36.86 hectares of land gifted to Dr. Anatoly Unitsky because they saw some promise in his transport. And sure, if they said, well, hey, we can give you the land, but we want special dispensation when we get our transport. I don't know if that's how the conversation went, but potentially it's there. Belarus are one of the countries that are looking at rolling this out in their territory. So that's very exciting. We can see some numbers up there, 1, 2, and 3. So if I point those out, number 1 is in fact our rigid system, and it's for the high speed. Now, there's some stories on that, and I'll come back to that a little bit later. Number 2 is our semi-rigid, and there's also the suspended you can see there. And 3 is actually for the cargo platform, which is also, again, a rigid system. So as you can see there, 3 elevated platforms, 36 hectares of land, and that's up in Belarus. I actually was up there, lucky enough to be up there in January, and it is a very, very magical place. This, ladies and gentlemen, is our high-speed Skyway. This will be our flagship product. It'll travel up to 500 kilometers an hour. In fact, the tests show so far that will actually travel beyond that speed, which is very exciting. Performance of up to 500,000 passengers per day. So that's a pretty decent payload in anyone's book. Now, this is likely to end up in the UAE somewhere. Now, there has been discussions happening there. This was featured on the Future Cities promo reel, which was an expo that was has just happened last week in Dubai. As I say, it was featured on the promo reel, so there's a good chance that this could potentially be implemented in the UAE in the next wee while. This one here, ladies and gentlemen, the Urban Skyway, also known as the Unibus. Designed for short distances up to 200 kilometers, so this is like your metro area, speed of up to 150 kilometers an hour, and it can move 50,000 passengers per hour. Now, I liken this to be between the Gold Coast and Brisbane. That would be the perfect application for it. I liken it there because that's where I live, and I'd love to see one of these going up and down the M1. It would save a whole heap of hassle. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in late 2017, 25th of November of 2017, in fact, this vehicle was actually certified for passenger transport. So it is a fully certified model. This one here, ladies and gents, the Cargo Skyway, also known as the Unitruck. There's a high interest, as I'm sure you can understand, from mining companies in this one because it's incredibly cheap to implement. It's incredibly robust, and they can get a lot of their ore from their current mining operations out to the port or to the closest rail with the minimum amount of costs. So if you know anything about mining companies, they like to keep their costs down, particularly with the volatility of the market potentially. So this can travel up to 150 kilometers an hour also. The performance is over 200 million tons a year. Now, this has also got applications in farming. If a farmer has wheat or corn or anything like that they need to get out to the market, maize, whatever, they can put it in this and actually ship it right out. And there are, in fact, some farmers here in Australia as well as worldwide that are interested in implementing this technology. This one here, ladies and gentlemen, the Unibike. There was a certified Unibike at the expo I just spoke of, the Future Cities Expo in Dubai. You could sit in it, you could get your photo taken in it, and many people did. It looked very exciting. It was, in fact, a certified model. So that's very exciting too. You can see 6 iterations of it there: luxury, business, spacious, sport, family, universal. Obviously, there's lots of different ways that you can use this. Single-seater right up to 5-seat. Now, if I liken it to something we have in New Zealand, at the Agrodome, they have what is called the SWIG. Now, the SWIG was sponsored by Google. They put it in. It was a bit of a gimmick, really, more than anything. However, one of our top managers, Armand, was in New Zealand last year, 2017, June, in fact. He went to the SWIG and had a look at it, and he said, hey, we've got something like this in Belarus. Would be interested in implementing it. And basically, the conversation went along the lines of, yes, we'd be interested in having a talk once it's got certification. And you just heard that we've got certification on that as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, a competitor analysis. What would this presentation be without comparing it to the others? What else is out there? Well, you can see Skyway up the top there. Top speed of up to 500 kilometers an hour. Safety standard, very high. Cost per kilometer to build, $3 to $8 million a kilometer. It's eco-friendly, and it can be built anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, any terrain. It can go through the sea. It can go through mountainous terrain, through the jungles, through the deserts, etc. The next one on the list, the magnetic levitation train, also known as the maglev, up to 600 kilometers an hour. It has a high safety standard, $106 million a kilometer to build. So very exy. Again, it is eco-friendly, but it must be built on flat ground. So you can probably consider that's where a lot of the cost comes in the engineering of that ground. The next one on the list, the Hyperloop, there's a lot of discussion about this in the media. They don't actually have a working model anywhere in the world yet, but they claim they can travel up to 1,300 kilometers an hour. I don't know about you, but I'm not very keen on being strapped into a tin can and shot at 1,300 kilometers an hour through a vacuum tube. It's got a moderate safety standard that says all I need to know, and it costs up to $100 million a kilometer to build. It's eco-friendly and built on flat ground. I'm going to come back to that price in a second. Okay, the last one on the list there, the monorail, up to 80 kilometers an hour. It has a high safety standard, $36 million a kilometer to build. Again, must be built on flat ground. Obviously, the engineering isn't quite as high as what's needed for the Hyperloop or maglev. But let's come to that, back to that $100 million for the Hyperloop. Somebody questioned me on this the other day and said, how did you get to that figure? Well, that is based on a document that Elon Musk himself released for a proposed Hyperloop between Vegas and LA. Now, originally they said, yes, it was 400 kilometers and it would be $60 billion to build. That price blew out to well over 100 billion. So that's where we get our figures from. It's also based on expert opinion. One of our engineers who has costed it out, knows the costings of all these things, has looked at it and said they will not be able to do it for less than $100 million a kilometer. And I trust the engineers over Elon. Anyway, so sustainability, ladies and gentlemen, environmental pollution. Obviously, sustainability is a big buzzword right now, and we all should be doing everything we can in our power to be able to further our existence. Now, Dr. Anatoly Yanitsky believes that if we do nothing, then within the next three generations, we will not have a planet to live on. Hence why he is so passionate about getting this off the ground, because this can and will regenerate the environment. So right now we've got heaps of cars on the road, 1,250% environmental pollution. The monorail, just under 300% there. In fact, just under 350%. Railway, just under 250%. The maglev, about the same. And we've got the Skyway that comes in under 100% environmental pollution. Now, if we take the most economic car on the road currently, which is in fact the Tesla, Skyway is in fact 17 times more efficient than the Tesla. So we've certainly got some big ups there in that respect. So we've got some stages of development here. I've already mentioned that Dr. Yanitsky started researching and working on this in 1978 as a student. So fast forward to 2014, and then in fact it's about when our company was born also, they started engineering the site. Now also remember that in 2001, he received that grant of $1 million to prove the concept. In 2015, they started construction at Eco Techno Park. That's also when Rod Hook went up to visit Dr. Yanitsky, and we'll get to that soon. So building and construction through 2016 into demonstration and certification. And as I mentioned, late 2017, we received full certification on a Unibus, and of course, the truck, the cargo truck there, and also the Unibike as well, I believe. So now we're looking at technology adoption, and there's some very, very exciting things happening there, ladies and gentlemen. There is a project imminently close here in Australia. There's not too many details on that, just that there's going to be a project here in the very, very near future. And that's kind of exciting for anybody that is a technology owner right now. So you can see there 2018 -- it says IPO. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it does say that we'll go to IPO in 2018 in the business plan. Now, business plans are a fluid document. They can change and do regularly. So are we likely to go in 2018? No, probably not. Are we likely to go 2019? No, possibly not. Maybe 2020, maybe 21. How long is a piece of string is the answer to that question. I get it a lot. When are we going to IPO? Well, who knows? How long is a piece of string? The fact is the company fully intends to go to IPO, and that will potentially make people very, very happy. So and we can see there IP rights and patents. Now, this valuation was done in 2014, ladies and gentlemen. It was done literally on drawings, IP rights, and the patents of what we had. And there was over $400 billion value equated to the company. Now, they issued the exact same amount of shares, so there are par value of shares. That's important to note. It'll come more important in about 2 slides' time. So now, fast forward to 2017, we have more than 300 MOUs, which is a Memorandum of Understanding, signed with more than 12 countries. We've actually raised more than $100 million so far for this fully transferable technology. Now, just think of what I said there. That original valuation was done based on drawings and IP. Now we have over 300 MOUs signed and a project imminently close here in Australia and potentially somewhere up in the Middle East. So very exciting. As I said, 15 stages of development. We are currently in stage 10. Now at the top there, you'll see that it says move to stage 12. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving to stage 12. We're skipping stage 11 on the 25th of April this year. So just in about 7 or 8 days' time, we're moving to stage 12. That is incredibly significant, and I'll explain why once we get to the next pages. So here are some of the countries that are involved with this already. These are countries that have already signed MOUs and are ready to roll this transport out, implement this transport in their countries. Indonesia's right at the top left there. They've just had an agreement through one of the universities there. Obviously, that's important for succession planning because we can get the young-blooded engineers through to help build this well into the future. We've got India there, Belarus, we've got Australia, and that is Rod Hook up there with Dr. Yanitsky and Mika Kalachenko, our reporter up there in Belarus in and around 2015. One of Rod's 4 or 5 trips he's had up there. He has brought this technology back to Australia, is incredibly passionate about it, and is about to get underway with it. You can see Russia under there, the Ukraine, Ireland, Tanzania is not mentioned, but it is in there. So is Kazakhstan. So there are a number of countries that aren't listed there that definitely are looking at implement this. The Philippines is also one of those. So who are we, ladies and gentlemen? This man right here, Andre Harato, he is the CEO of Skyway Invest Group. Now, Skyway Invest Group is an educational investment portal. Now, that word is incredibly important. Yes, we're here. We are crowdfunding, and I'll explain that too. We're crowdfunding for that technology. But what that means as a portal is that there's going to be other opportunities for us to crowdfund for and become potential co-owners of. That's a really important piece of the pie. It's a trademark of Rail Skyway Systems. It's our mission to educate people of the importance of financial and investment education. So why crowdfunding? I said I'd come back to it. It's a fair question. Obviously, it's an incredible technology. Why would Dr. Yanitsky not simply go to a VC, a venture capitalist, and say, hey, I've got this really good idea. How about you give me some money? Well, ladies and gentlemen, he did do that. He went down the traditional funding route. And guess what? They wanted too much of his company. They wanted to Steve Jobs him. They were going to take the controlling portion of the company. And Dr. Yanitsky could not have that. And here's why. Skyway is simply a stepping stone to Dr. Yanitsky's big dream. I said that he is passionate about making sure that we've got an environment for our kids, right? For our great-grandchildren. Well, he sees the way in doing that is to take all harmful industry into outer space, into the biosphere. That is the next phase. Once we get Skyway up and running, we're going to do the hyperwheel, which is taking all harmful industry to outer space. So that's why we're crowdfunding. It also gives you and me a chance to get in on something that we wouldn't normally get a chance in. Imagine if we could have got in at Facebook at a pre-IPO stage, if we could have been a Peter Thiel there. Well, that man made a fortune at IPO. So wealth creation education is something incredibly close to my heart, ladies and gents. If I'd have had this 10 years ago, I wouldn't have gone through 10 years of toil trying to figure out how the hell I lost over $1 million worth of cash and assets. Because this education is real and it's not taught in schools. There's this whole nother story with that, but we haven't got time to go into that right now. Guys, bottom left there, the ES, the BI, it's made famous. It's called the cash flow quadrant, and it was made famous by Robert Kiyosaki. Okay, what does it mean? Well, the left side of the quadrant, the E and the S, is the poor side of the quadrant. The right side, the B and the I, is the rich side of the quadrant. If you know his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, that's what it's all about. So right throughout our schooling career, and yes, it's a bit of a career, it's a bit of a journey, we are taught to be employees. That's the E side there. That's the E part of the quadrant, employees. Now, if we become really, really good at what we've been employed at, we become a very good technician, then potentially we could become self-employed and move into that S side of the quadrant. Now, that's cool. You can probably make more money from doing that. However, you are still trading time for money. Still trading time for money. Now, if we went into the B, that's considered business, right? Big business. To be considered big business, you must have 500 plus employees. Most of us, even if we are running a business, don't fall into that category. But hey, if you're in an MLM business, maybe you do. So what we aim to do with our education is get everybody to that I quadrant, which is the investor. That's where the money comes in while you sleep. That's passive income. Now, remember what Warren Buffett said about that. He said, if you do not work out a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. I have no interest in that. I am sure you don't either. So what's in it for you guys? Well, it's very, very simple. You can have ownership in the technology that I've just spoken to you about simply for participating in the educational packages that we have. You can do this through one-off payments. You can do it through installments. And we also have promotional ones. And I'll tell you about that. Now, remember I said about the discounts, right? Stage 10 discounts range from 1 to 75 to 1 to 160. Now, generally, each time we move or progress through a stage, because it's a round of funding, each time we move, those discounts reduce by 40%. So if you put 2 and 2 together and we skip through a stage and go straight from 10 to 12, there's a potential that those reduce by up to 80%. That's a significant decrease in your pipes. So right now, for 10 units, which is $10, you can receive 80 bonus pipes, pre-IPO private equity shares, giving you a discount of 1 and 8, meaning you'll get 8 pipes for every $1 that you put in, that every $1 you put into an educational package. Right through to 100,000 units, you'll get up to 17 million pre-IPO private equity shares. Now, keep in mind what I said about the valuation that we had and the par value on the shares. That means that when they do convert to shares on the public exchange, there's every chance that they will launch at around the $1 mark. That's significant, ladies and gentlemen, right there in and of itself. We can also do this in installments. Maybe you want to do $100, but you can only do it $10 a month. Well, you've got the option to do that too. There is no barrier to entry for you participating here. Anyone can do this. This example that we've got up in front of us, the EIP Important, this is obviously $2,500 a month, which gives you $25,000 in total. All these packages are for a maximum of 10 months. That is awesome. That's also important to note from a networking standpoint. Okay, that will come with 3.5 million pre-IPO private equity shares. So remember what I just said about what was likely to happen at the IPO. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you could stop there and say, hey, good, I'm set. My family's set for life. But if you're like me and think, man, everybody needs to know about this, then the company, Skyway Invest Group, want to reward you for doing that. So there are some business opportunities here. There are 6 streams of income with what we have in front of us. We can get paid today simply by networking. Now, there's a good chance somebody invited you to be here this evening, or maybe you just saw it pop up on your feed and went, hey, I'm going to tune in and watch this. Well, if you invite other people to get started here and they like what they see and they say, yep, I'm going to buy an education pack, you have the potential to be paid for that. Okay, so tomorrow you could become a company rep. Now, we've just had a master professional, a master profi training run in London. There was 3 trainers at that event. They were being paid to be there to deliver the content. So you have the potential to get up to a point where the company will assist you so you can assist them. You can get a percentage for big contracts. So if you're representing the country in a certain region and there's contracts that happen or projects that happen in those regions, you can potentially get and earn from that. Project initiation, this one's a very, very cool one, but it does come with a caveat, which I will explain in a couple of slides. Project initiation means if you know a developer or if you know a mine manager perhaps, and you go, hey, this technology would go really, really good for you guys. I think you should implement it. Hey, and you have a talk and you start to make that happen. If you've initiated that project, again, you can get a percentage of that project. I believe it's up to 4%. Now, in the future, ladies and gentlemen, clearly the company intends to go to IPO. That will make a lot of people incredibly happy on that day. In fact, there's going to be a big party around the world, I'm quite sure of it. And of course, dividends, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you're not sure what dividends are, this is the most exciting part. This is where that money comes in passively while you sleep. Now, everybody probably knows Elvis Presley. He died about 41 years ago in August this year. However, his estate still receives millions and millions of dollars each and every year from the music that he created when he was alive. That's pretty cool. Now, that's royalty income, so it is slightly different. However, dividend income works the same way. Now, let me explain it this way. George Stephenson is credited for inventing the steam engine. He didn't actually do it. Richard Trevithick did, but however, George Stephenson brought it to rail. He put it on rail, and in fact, he was responsible for creating British Rail's networks. British Rail no longer exists. However, his great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren still receive billions of dollars each and every year in dividends from the work that he did. This is the potential we have in front of us right now for our children and future generations. This is generational wealth. So guys, I did talk about some promotional products that we have, or promotional EIPs. This is it right here. Fast track qualification. We've got express qualifications. You can become a consultant. If you said, man, this is awesome. I know a heap of people. I'm going to build a business. Then, hey, express consultant is probably something you'd consider doing. $3,500 US will receive you also 400,000 pre-IPO private equity shares. It will get you the free Master Profi training worth $1,300. Now, that's the training that was just done in London just over the weekend. There's been 3 run here in Australia this year. There's more coming. It gives you unlimited earning potentials. I'll explain that in the next page. You become your own business entity. That means you can go out and you can present this to people just like I'm presenting it to you right now. You can also become an express manager. Now, remember I said about project initiation. Just hold that in your mind. As an express manager, you will receive 3 million pre-IPO private equity shares, pipes. You will receive free Master Profi training worth $1,300. You'll get unlimited earning potentials, the same as you do with consultant. You become a business entity, but this is the big one. This is the kicker. You are now able to participate in project initiation. You must be at the manager level to be able to do that. Pretty cool. So this one here, ladies and gentlemen, this is our marketing plan. If you did decide that you wanted to build this as a business, this is how it works. For every person that you personally introduce to this opportunity, you will receive 8% of whatever they put in as a marketing fee. So like an affiliate fee. You will receive 7% of whatever the people they bring in. So on your second level, you get 7% right through to president. On your third level, you'd get 3% as a partner. Once you got to agent, you'd then go up to 5% on your third level, which again goes all the way through to president. Then once you get to your fourth level, as a partner, you no longer receive commissions. As an agent, you would get 4%, and again, that carries right through to president. On your fifth level, that cuts out both partner and agent, so you must be a consultant or above to get that, and that's what we're talking about with unlimited earning potential, 3% right through to president. And then once you get to your sixth level and below, you get a variance between 1.3% and 8%. That's right up to president. That variance works right throughout the ranks. Now, get back in touch with the person that invited you here this evening, and they will be able to explain that a little more to you. You can also get in touch with me in the future if you like. So how can you start? Well, guys, it's really simple. Get back in touch with the person that invited you here tonight, register today, and complete the verification process. Now, you can start the verification process. You can get your package today without being verified, okay? You must fill out the profile. That's the kicker right there. Learn about the product, learn about the company, and of course, learn the business inside out. I don't expect you to learn that inside out overnight, ladies and gentlemen. There is a lot of information to learn. However, if you're going to be serious about it, then you need to know about the business. Pretty simple. Tap into the Facebook groups that are available. We have one of the fastest growing groups in this region. But of course, get back to the person that invited you here, and they will tap you into the right group for you. Invite others. Obviously, these webinars are run regularly. This is a regular time slot each and every week, 7 p.m. Queensland time on Tuesday evening. There is another one at 8 p.m. on Thursday evening. 6 p.m. Thursday evening Queensland time. That's for a 8 p.m. New Zealand time slot. So there are plenty of opportunities to plug people into these webinars. And of course, they're also recorded so you can find them on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, this one here, this picture, I love it every time. You can see the top left, that is the Burj Khalifa. It is the tallest building in the world. It is over 800 meters tall. Down in front of it is the fountain near the Dubai Mall, and it is incredibly spectacular. This is obviously a window to what's coming to the world's futures attractions, if you like. Remember, 15 years ago, Dubai was a sandpit, and now it's one of the most innovative cities in the world. And as I said, that little thing on the bottom left, the high-speed rail, was certainly featured predominantly on the promo reel for the Future Cities Expo. So that could be potentially something that's coming up there in the future, ladies and gents. So opportunity summary, guys. Become educated and a professional investor. That is exactly what Andre Harato is. He's a professional investor and he wants to give back to people. He has found a great opportunity where people can actually get pretty substantial ownership in a company that will give them big returns in the future. You can grow your business and have unlimited earning potential. I've shown you that. You can create passive income streams. Remember what Warren Buffett said. You can create a Skyway portfolio with billions. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't say that lightly at all. I know there's a lot of opportunities out there that will claim that for you. We are playing in a $500 trillion industry in the transport industry. The affiliate payouts in that industry based on that figure are $50 to $100 trillion. And if you put that into perspective, all that Amway and all the big ones that have been able to pay out over the last 70 years has only been 300 to 500 million. So you're right at the start. We're pioneers, ladies and gentlemen. And remember I said about the portal, there's a lot more coming. You can help others and you can leave a legacy. This is important for so many people. You know, there's people involved in this business that want to put orphanages, that want to set up foundations to find cures for really terrible diseases, to set up safe havens for domestic abuse victims, to set up schools to help people learn the way they learn, be taught the way they learn rather than what the education system believes they should. Guys, you can do what you love and you can follow your passion. You have the potential to do anything you like with this opportunity. It's that simple. Ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude our presentation this evening. If you do have any quick questions, you can feel free to jump out and ask them. If you've got any, I will chime in on Facebook as well, so I can see that's about 20 seconds delayed, so I might hopefully see them come through. If you've got any questions, guys, just pop out and ask. Or put your hand up and I'll be able to unmute you, essentially. Okay, guys, I haven't seen anything come through. There's no hands gone up as yet. I will answer any questions. I'll go back through any questions on the live stream and answer any questions there for anyone. So I am going to wrap this up for right now, ladies and gents. Thank you very much for coming this evening. If you are interested in getting started, please get back in touch with the person that invited you here this evening. Let me please be the first to congratulate you on a very, very wise decision to do something with this company, and welcome to the team. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. Take care.